This is Support is Sexy, episode 478. Ladies, it's time for us to get over I got this and learn to say I need help. Welcome to Support is Sexy. I'm your host, Elayne Fluker, entrepreneur, author, and founder of Chic Rebellion Media. 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, I bring you inspiring women entrepreneurs who share their wins and lessons to help you take your business to the next level. Here we go. Hi, everyone. Welcome to a new episode of Support is Sexy. I am so happy to have you here. It honestly would not be the same without you. And today I am preempting our regular flow of interviews to record an episode, hopefully without crying, about the recent passing of fashion designer Kate Spade, who was reportedly found after a suicide. So if this is a show or a subject that might be triggering for you, any kind of feelings that it may make for you that may be uncomfortable or that you just don't want to hear right now, go ahead and turn this off, move on to the next one. I want you to feel good at all times. Now, here's the thing for the rest of you who are still here. We don't always feel good at all times. And what I wanted to share is really, I don't know, it's a sad and tragic thing, but for me, it really hit home, Kate Spade's passing because, well, one, I am someone who knows what it's like to be so low that you consider suicide, someone who knows what it's like to attempt suicide. And that's something that I plan to write a lot more about and be more open about, not in a way to promote my book, but honestly just sharing that story and letting people know that it doesn't always look, or I should say it isn't always, things aren't always as glamorous as they look. I think now, especially in the age of social media or what we all deem to be quote unquote successful when we look at other people, you never know what's going on. And for the person who is, for whatever reason, hiding what's going on or feeling like maybe they feel like, I don't know, maybe they feel like they can't reach out for support, or maybe there's just a whole lot of reasons that we end up in these situations where we feel alone, isolated, and like there's no other option. When you get to the point where you consider suicide or attempt suicide or go through with suicide, usually you feel like there's no other option. This is the only option. Here's the thing. There are lots of other options. I'm saying this again as someone who has been there, and I know there are lots of other options. Now, there are many of us who struggle with mental illness or just depression. I have moments of depression for sure, finding out more and more about my struggles with depression as an adult, things that I went through as a child that I didn't even know were related. So there are a lot of ways that we can find out more about ourselves, and more importantly, find out ways that we can treat ourselves, heal ourselves, keep ourselves healthy, try to be happy. You're not always going to be happy because things happen in life that kind of throw us off the path, especially if you deal with anything that might throw you off that path, or if you have any kind of emotional challenges that make you maybe fall off the path a little bit easier than someone else might. But none of that matters. What I want you to know, no matter what comes your way, there are options out there to help you. And the message I really want to send to you all is, as women, and especially as quote unquote successful women, which means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. People would certainly say Kate Spade seemed to be successful. People would certainly say a lot of people who go through this seem to be successful from the outside. But if you're successful or on your way to success, or you just want to be successful, here's the thing. We have to learn how to get over this quote unquote, I got it syndrome, right? I got it. I got this. I even try to be conscious of saying to friends who are going through a tough time or going through challenges or whatever it is, whether it's something on a job, something in a relationship, something in their business, don't worry about it. You got this. Well, you know what? Maybe she doesn't have it. And instead of us saying, I got this, I want us to learn how to say, I need help. And you don't have to be to the point where you're considering suicide. You could be at any stage of the game, going through whatever. Be empowered to say, I need help. This is what Support is Sexy is all about. It is what is at the center of this movement, if you will, about Support is Sexy, thinking of support, asking for support, and being able to accept support in a different way, not having any heaviness around it, actually knowing that it'll lift you up, make you feel light and free. The idea of asking for support, receiving support, being open to it, knowing that it'll show up to you. I want you to feel that and to know that there are options out there, not even just through the podcast, not even just joining a mastermind, which is a great idea if you're a woman in business. There's that, but there's also professional help. You can get a coach, you can get a therapist, you can talk to a friend, but sometimes maybe a friend doesn't understand. Maybe you need to be around a group of strangers who are supportive. Maybe they're all going through the same kind of thing you are. Maybe they've had the same kind of experiences that you're having, or maybe they've had it in the past, something that a friend might not be familiar with. I just want to encourage you to know that no matter what you're going through, you can find support. You might feel alone. You might feel isolated. You might feel like nobody cares. I've been there from times during childhood, times as an adult. You feel like no one understands. But here's the thing again, just to re-stress to you, you are not alone. You don't have to suffer through this alone. Suffering is not sexy. Support is sexy. Support is not weak. Support is strong. Support is what you want to do as an empowered woman. You want to feel empowered to ask for support. Know that it will show up for you. It may not come in the package that you think. It may not come from the person or the place that you think, but support is out there. You are not alone. There are ways to get support. Now, we talked about a friend, a coach, a group of strangers who are understanding and supportive, a teacher, whoever it is, find someone in your life who can support you. There are also other resources. So in the U.S., the Suicide Prevention Hotline, if you're considering suicide or just having depression or anything else you're experiencing, it doesn't have to be to that point, but there are numbers and places you can go for help. The suicide prevention number in the United States is 800-273-8255. That's 800-273-8255. I have been looking and searching for an international number, which I have not found yet. I don't know if their organization is international, but I emailed them to find out. So if by the time you hear this, you don't hear a number in this episode, go to the show notes on your phone or wherever you're listening, and I will make sure as soon as I get it to include the international number or website or wherever you should go to get support, because we have listeners in 130 countries. I love you all for being here. I want you to stay here. I want you to get help and have access to support. So I'm going to make sure I include that number as soon as I get it from them. In the U.S., though, if you want to call now, 800-273-8255. So that's 800-273-TALK. Here's the thing, too, for us as quote unquote successful women. I want us all to get over the idea of shoulds. And I say that to you as I say it to myself, right? So if you're an entrepreneur, especially, or you have ideas about starting your own business or reinventing yourself, maybe you've been doing something for a while. I know a lot of you have. Now you want to reinvent as an entrepreneur or try something totally different or something that is an offshoot of whatever you were already doing, whatever that looks like for you. Let go, though, of shoulds, especially people who are shooting on you from their own fear, right? You should do this or you shouldn't do this. You better not leave that job. You better not do this. You better not do that. Even from people who love you. We've talked about this on the podcast before. That can feel really heavy because they are really projecting their fears on you. Even if it's good advice, maybe you shouldn't just leave your job. Maybe you should take a little bit of time and think about whatever it is, but don't let that feel too heavy on you. Don't take on everyone else's should or shouldn't. Don't take on everyone else's opinion of success or non-success. Again, in the world of social media, I have nothing against social media, but I know it can be dangerous, and not just for teenagers. For some of us as grown-ass women, sit around and compare ourselves to everyone else on social media or what we think everyone else is getting, the kind of attention that we think other people are getting. So all that to say, social media can be great, but it can also be dangerous if you're not in the right mental space. I will tell you, I took off of social media from posting or having it on my phone. I think I've mentioned this before. I think it was December until about March or April, from Instagram, from everything other than automated posts or maybe answering questions or things like that. But I just wanted to be away from it for a while. And not that anything was wrong or was going through anything, but one, I felt the need to post and I didn't want to feel that. But also, sometimes you just got to clean the slate. Got to step away from it all. You can't look at it all the time. You have to do what's best for you. And for me, getting more focused, cleaning the slate, and not being so focused on what everyone else was doing or feeling pressure to try to look like I'm doing something, I wanted to get away from that. So that's another way that you can support yourself. Now, I know this episode might sound like it's a little bit all over the place. I'll be honest, I'm very much in the moment right now, and I didn't even know about Kate Spade today until Kongit Farrell, who was a recent episode of the Support is Sexy podcast. She's a licensed therapist, a great episode, but she and I actually spoke in that episode about successful women needing to learn how to lean out. Right? Lean out, fall back, take a break, take care of yourself. And Kongit talked about how many quote unquote successful women she counsels. So we just had that discussion. And then today she posted about that episode in our conversation. And she mentioned the passing of Kate Spade. This was on Instagram. So this is how I heard about it. So again, I am very much in the moment about it. And it just made me think of all of you fantastic women and a few great men who listen to Support is Sexy. I feel like I can reach out to you and let you know, one, what I'm going through, but let you know, most important or as important, that you are not alone. So if you are in any way feeling pressure, feeling stress, feeling any kind of emotional instability, make sure you reach out for help. Don't try to figure it out all alone. And I heard someone say this recently when they were talking about getting a coach. Sometimes we don't think that, well, now I think people are talking more and more about it. I certainly do, right? I'm always talking about my coach, Margo. But I heard someone talking about the best players in any sport. Serena Williams, LeBron James, who those are the two that come first to mind. Any great player in history, any great, even if you think about musicians or people like that who are really well trained in what they do. Not people who just play naturally, but people who are well trained, who took lessons, who learned. All of those people knew the importance, even people who play chess. Think about a chess coach. All of these people have coaches. Coaches help them get better and better. Coaches see the game in a way that you cannot necessarily see it when you're in the game. Even if you have the best talent, natural ability, all of that great stuff, a coach helps you step it up. And for me, what was powerful, or the connection that's so powerful about my coach, is that she, of course, has the business background, but then she also has the connection with psychology and business. So that was important to me because everything I talk about, it might kind of be related to business. It might not. It might be some personal stuff that I'm going through and I need help figuring it out. She is the coach. She can see the game and she's seen these games before, right? So she brings a certain level of expertise from seeing the game played again and again and can give, well, this worked for this person. This will work for you. This worked for you. This might not work for you, etc. So get a coach. Get someone who can support you. Find someone. We've been talking about this in the Support is Sexy Mastermind, how you find a coach. I believe in thinking about where you are at the time. If you don't exactly know what kind of coach you want or who your coach should be, what are you going through right now? Try writing that down at least so you have a sense of, okay, this is what I want help with. And then, live the question. Who is available to help me with this thing? What kind of help can I get? And then ask trusted people you know. Referrals, I think, are the best way to get help with a coach or a psychiatrist or whatever you need. Referrals are one of the best ways, but you have to have a sense of what's going on with you. And I shouldn't say, let me be careful with my words. Not that you have to have a sense of what's going on, but be able to express, whether written or be able to articulate it or somehow, what you're feeling at the moment. For me, for example, it was feeling like I had hit a plateau in my business. I felt like I got everything launched. The podcast, was up and running. Other things were up and running, but I felt like they weren't growing. I had taken it as far as I can take it, right? And that's what happens. What gets you here won't get you there. So wherever you're going through, whatever you're feeling, if you're, again, going through any kind of struggle, maybe what got you here won't get you there or won't get you over the hump. And you need some help getting over that hump. What I want to make sure of is, one, you know that support is sexy. You need to embrace support. Two, make sure as a quote unquote successful woman, you know how to lean out, how to give yourself a break, how to fall back. 3, make sure you get support, get a coach, get a psychiatrist, a psychologist, whoever you need, a group of strangers who are on the same level as you, who can help you, a friend if that's there for you. Get people who can help you. And then the suicide prevention number, if things feel really bad or even if not really bad, just depressed or anything you're going through, in the United States, 800-273-8255. No shame in calling. No shame either if you need medication to help yourself get stable. No shame around any of that. We want to be healthy because you have shit to do in this world. We need you here. We need you to stay here. We need you to be your happiest, healthiest self. So if you need support, 800-273-8255. Internationally, make sure to check the show notes. I'm going to put it in there as soon as I get it. All right, so thank you for indulging me today. We're going to get back to interviews tomorrow. But again, I wanted to pause, especially because Kate Spade is a woman, obviously, also a woman entrepreneur. So I just felt a really close connection to that. And I wanted to share that with you all and let you know you are not alone. All right, so another thing I want you to remember, you deserve support. And I'll talk to you soon. Take care.